celebrating India in America. California has one of the largest Indian American populations of any state in the country. Commemorating Indian Independence Day is a chance for the community here to come together in music and dance. And to many here, seeing a Californian Indian American potentially become the next president is cause for celebration too.
Kamala Harris, she is one of the best that we have.
Why is that?
Highly educated, and then she is really delivers on her promise.
Everyone is super excited about her candidacy, and we are super jazzed, and we're going to go vote for her.
Getting Kamala Harris elected is of personal importance to Ajay Boria. He came to the U.S. nearly 30 years ago from India as a student. Today, he's an active fundraiser for Democratic campaigns. He says he's known the vice president since she was a district attorney in California.
She represents the 4.4 million Indian American. To see that we came from India with 2 suitcases and then made a life for us, and now see to someone who represent our color, our from the same background and origin, to get elected as the next president of the United States, it's such a matter of pride and joy, and that also brings hopes to millions of kids.
To Ajay, Kamala Harris represents someone able to understand the issues affecting his community, like the economy and immigration. But Kamala Harris is far from the only Indian American figure that's risen to political prominence. The nation was recently introduced to Usha Vance, wife of Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance. Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley have become surrogates for Donald Trump after their own Republican primary campaigns ended. But Karthik Ramakrishnan, a political scientist studying the 2.2 million strong Indian American voting base, says Indian American identity is a factor. But it's just one among others.
Most Indian Americans still identify as Democrat, where they stand on issues ranging from the environment to gun control to healthcare is much closer to Kamala Harris than it is to people like Haley and Ramaswamy, right? And so ultimately that's what is going to matter. Of course, having someone who comes from one's community might make a difference in terms of the amount of energy in the base, but party is still more important than shared race or ethnicity.
That cuts both ways. On the other side of the country, Priti Pandya Patel of the South Asian Republican Coalition is trying to get the vote out for the GOP in New Jersey, another state with a high Indian American population. She organizes roundtables of supporters like this one.
I don't agree with a lot of her views and a lot of her policies and things, and so of course there is that always going to be that disconnect. One of the biggest things I think is immigration, right? Where she was in charge of, making sure the border was protected, and she really didn't do a good job at that.
As in every diaspora, the Indian American community is not a monolith. Their motivations and aspirations are nuanced. But it's an increasingly active and growing political force, whether in the halls of power themselves or in the voting booths. In an election that promises to be tight, that force will be felt.